These days, every car maker is trying to introduce its own 2024 challenger, and one of these companies is Ford, who recently welcomed their latest Ford Maverick model. This year's model is not a huge development over the previous model year, but it still brought some changes to the table. Although many praised it, the Ford Maverick still has some negatives that you should be wary of. So stay with us while we cover the 2024 Ford Maverick, the pros that'll surprise you, and the cons that you can't ignore. Let's start with the pros and see more about the positive aspects of this model before we discuss the negatives. Number 5. Hybrid model. One of the main highlights of the Ford Maverick is the hybrid model. This hybrid option makes the Ford Maverick the only model in this compact pickup truck segment with a hybridized system. This is why it is extremely popular among buyers. The model is more produced than the standard internal combustion version. The engine that is used in the hybrid is a 2.5-liter inline-4. This is an Atkinson cycle engine that is extremely efficient. The engine produces 191 horsepower and 155 pound-feet of torque, which is paired with a CVT automatic. This powertrain allows the Ford Maverick to accelerate from 0 to 60 in only 7.6 seconds. Not a powerhouse by any means, but a very efficient option. More about its efficiency will be covered in a bit when we discuss the fuel economy. Number 4. Powerful internal combustion engine. Another highlight when it comes to the Ford Maverick is its standard internal combustion engine. This engine was an option previously, but since the hybrid became more expensive, the internal combustion engine became standard for this 2024 model year. If you want to get the cheapest Maverick for 2024, you'll get this model with a 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine. This is an inline-4 engine that implements a turbocharger. This turbocharger allows the 2.0-liter engine to create up to 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. This engine comes mated with an 8-speed automatic that is really smooth and gives great efficiency. So this is the powertrain that we will recommend if you need a work truck. This turbocharged engine is a lot more capable since it has massive amounts of torque, which is available relatively low on the RPM band. Perfect for towing and acceleration. This model accelerates from 0 to 60 in only 5.9 seconds, which is a great improvement over the hybrid. Number 3. Good towing and payload capacity. Another highlight of the Ford Maverick is its practicality. This pickup truck, although pretty small, is a really good performer when it comes to towing and payload performance. This is a crucial area when it comes to pickup trucks. A truck has to perform in order to be attractive to the buyer. So, how does the Ford Maverick perform? Well, in terms of towing, this model can tow up to 2,000 pounds. And if you equip the Maverick with a tow package, you'll be able to get up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. The only drawback is that this max tow rating only comes with a 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine. This is the turbocharged model. But still, these are really solid numbers. With this model, you'll not have trouble towing even some heavy trailers. When it comes to payload, the Ford Maverick also performs pretty well. It can take a max payload of 1,500 pounds. Also, the payload volume is limited on these trucks considering the small 4.5-foot bed. Even if you want to put on more weight, it's not possible. Number 2. Great fuel economy. Another big highlight of the 2024 Ford Maverick is its fuel economy. We live at times when gas prices are exploding, and a lot of people are looking for something really efficient that'll save them a ton of money on gas. And luckily, the Ford Maverick is a really good option when it comes to saving money on gas. The standard internal combustion engine will deliver you a fuel economy of 23 mpg on the city and 30 mpg on the highway. These are solid numbers for a vehicle of this size. The hybrid, on the other hand, is much more efficient. This model will deliver about 40 mpg in the city, 33 mpg on the highway, and 37 mpg combined. This hybrid variant is a perfect option if you drive a lot through the city and want to save money on gas. Even the real-world numbers for the Ford Maverick hybrid are really strong. On many real-world tests, they managed to get up to 35 mpg combined with this model, which is excellent. What we really hope is that in the near future, Ford will introduce a plug-in hybrid model. This model should get a similar fuel economy as the regular hybrid. But with this model, you have the option to use battery power, which could allow you a range of 30 to 50 miles in EV mode. Number 1. Low starting price. Another highlight of the Ford Maverick is its low starting point. Even in these difficult times when everything is getting more and more expensive, Ford somehow manages to offer the Maverick at a bargain price. The base model of the Ford Maverick starts at $23,400, which is an excellent deal in our opinion. The Ford Maverick is even cheaper than some compact cars. So if you want to get a new pickup truck at a discount, this is the right model for you. This is why we recommend getting one while the Maverick is available for such a low cost, because in the near future, the model might go up in price. Just for reference, the nearest competitor of the Ford Maverick, the Hyundai Santa Cruz, starts at $26,650, which is $3,000 more compared to the Ford Maverick. We've covered the pros of the Ford Maverick. Now let's dive into the cons and learn some of the negatives of this model. Since not everything is positive, you need to have some input about the downsides of this compact pickup truck. Number 4. Boring design. One of the things that we don't appreciate a lot about the Ford Maverick is definitely its exterior design, which can be described in a single word: boring. The exterior design is not very attractive when you compare the Ford Maverick with the Hyundai Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz is much more modern, and the way it is sculpted is simply phenomenal. We understand that Ford wants to build a typical American pickup truck. The Maverick is so typical that it simply blends in and is pretty unattractive. So we think that Ford should build a more rugged truck that'll be greatly inspired by these modern trends, and for the next model year, we'll have a Ford Maverick with a more attractive design. Number 3. Lack of interior comfort. Another thing that people complained about the Ford Maverick is the lack of interior comfort. The Maverick has a pretty narrow body and interior space is somewhat limited, although the seats are not one of the most comfortable, especially on the entry-level models that come equipped with cloth seats. This is a downside that is mainly due to the fact that the Ford Maverick is a cheap truck. It's not made to be comfortable or luxurious. It's a truck that has a sole purpose, which is to be a good entry-level vehicle. If you want more interior comfort, we would strongly recommend going for the Ranger or the F-150. These trucks are much more spacious and have a ton more luxury features. Number 2. No all-wheel drive for the hybrid model. Another con with the Ford Maverick is the lack of all-wheel drive for the hybrid model. The hybrid model of the Ford Maverick only comes as a front-wheel drive. This has a lot of advantages such as better fuel economy and better control of the vehicle, but it's not as capable as all-wheel drive models. So if you drive a lot on dirt roads or areas where there's a lot of mud, you'll not like this model because you can end up stuck pretty easily. The all-wheel drive model, on the other hand, is much more capable of tackling uneven terrain. This is why we think that Ford should include an all-wheel drive system with the Maverick Hybrid in the near future. This model might be more expensive, but it is definitely worth it because the all-wheel drive system can come in handy in a ton of situations. Number 1. Small bed. Another downside of the Ford Maverick is the small bed that this model includes. This model has a bed size of only 4.5 feet. This is a very tiny pickup bed that'll not suit a lot of customers. A pickup bed should be at least 5 or 6 feet long in order to be usable for work. We understand that Ford is somewhat limited because of the fact that this is a compact vehicle built on a unibody chassis. But what Ford can do is offer a regular 2-door cab. This way you'll be able to get a longer bed by sacrificing the rear seats. This would be a good idea because a lot of people want to use their trucks for work purposes. And if you have a small business, you don't really need a large full-size pickup truck. A Ford Maverick can do the job just fine if it comes with a longer bed option. So we really hope that Ford will include a larger bed in one of the upcoming model years in order to offer something to these buyers. Thanks for watching and see you next time.